What's happening, people? Welcome to another edition. Matter of fact, the very first edition of Messages in the Madness for 2022. It's me, Longhorn the comedian. I mean, who else were you expecting? Maybe Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know. But you're here. I'm here. Thank you for being here. Yes, I'm kind of doing it a little different tonight. I'm doing it in the dark in my office in the man cave. Then I thought, the backdrop and everything. No, I wasn't being lazy. I just decided I'm gonna do something different tonight, especially for the first show. Show you what I really look like without the makeup and the fancy lights and everything. You guys have seen me without all of that. One thing I did notice, if you follow me on Facebook, Facebook is now doing closed caption. So if you can't understand what I'm saying, Facebook is going to try to translate me. Ain't that some shit? Wow. Okay, good luck with that, with y'all's caption and translating and everything. Hey, make sure you hit like or love as you come in. Let me know that you're here. Yeah, Happy New Year. Well, hit the like, hit the love, thumbs up, share me on your page, whatever you want to do, but just let me know that you're here. I appreciate it. I really, really do. So, hey, Miss Charlotte, hey, Miss Rita, good to see y'all. Thank y'all for stopping in, popping in. Let me know that you're here. Yes, happy New Year to you. 2022, 2021, already gone. Man, we're not even going to get to 2021. We know what happened in 2021. I'm just happy that you are here, we're here, and we can move forward from there. We're going to, God bless the souls of those that went on before us. We're going to cherish their memory. We're going to keep them right here in our hearts, but we got to keep moving forward. That's what they would want us to do. So, yeah, we did the Christmas thing. We did the New Year's thing. Did you do anything special for New Year's? What did you do? Tell me about it in the chat. What did you do for New Year's? You know what I mean? We hid under the bed. Yeah, there was so much gunshots going on around here. Sounded like the OK Corral. That's what it sounded like. But no, we chilled out here in the basement and everything. So I hope everybody was okay. No new bullet holes and new exit wounds or anything like that. So I hope you're doing good with that. So what else is going on? Oh, Longhorn has been under the weather all week. I have been sick all week. I have been basically in the house almost all week. Turns out granddaughter, little Miss Princess Izzy, was over at the house, and let's just say she gave me a gift that just kept on giving, and it gave all week. I'm just getting over it, just getting past it. The Cowboys and the Chiefs both lost today, but the Saints won, so I'm 1 out of 3. Yeah. Bought an Apple computer. Yeah, I did that. I'm taking it back tomorrow. I'm not even gonna get into it. For a long time, my philosophy has been I don't do Apple products because I don't believe in playing with my food, but I bought it so that I could do some video editing and photo editing and do the audio version of my book. Well, I was told that was the best product to use. I'm sorry, learning curve is just a little too much for me, so I'm gonna have to go stick with what I got and do that. So I'm taking that back tomorrow, and I get ready to start my new job tomorrow, my new day gig. So, woo, yeah, I got to put in a nice shirt and a sweater and maybe some new gray sweatpants because they ain't. This is all they gonna see is what y'all see right here. So that's how that's working. I see people checking in over here on the right. I appreciate y'all again. Hey Charlotte, hey Rita, hey James, Kyle. Yep, you say still following you around since Micro Center. I appreciate that, Kyle. I do. Hey Annette, hope you're doing well. Charlotte says she got too much snow and ice. Ooh, stay home. Y'all got some snow. Thank you. Y'all keep it up north there. Yeah. James said he ate more than we should, and Ned said hers was a war zone also. So I get it. Like I say, check in with me, guys. Like, love, let me know that you're here. Excuse me. I've already told you. I'm getting over it. I'm on the back end of it. Got a hot toddy the other night there. Woo. I don't know if I was feeling better or just drunk, but yeah, Mr. Ned hooked the brother up with some hot toddy. Greg, hola, my friend. Good to see you, sir. So, while that, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the topic tonight. And the topic tonight is no, I don't know it all. I don't know it all, but I will tell you what I know. And what that came from is I was listening to some people having conversations, and then I'm reading stuff on the internet and on Facebook and the other place. Everything on Facebook is true. You know that's right. If it's on Facebook, it's true. No, it's not. But people often will ask people opinions. They will ask you for their advice. I've been asking for my advice, but and then when you give that advice, people kind of look at you like, oh, you think you know it all. You think you got all the answers. And the truth of the matter is no. But if you ask me, I'm going to tell you what I know, or I'm going to tell you what I don't know. And if I don't know, chances are I can find it right here on my little phone right here. Just ask Google. She know everything. Or Alexa or any of them heifers. They all know something about everything. But people tend to ask us our opinion. Especially if you're older, you've raised kids, people want to know. And it's not that they think that you know everything. It's just that, you know, well, okay, the definition of it said, why do people ask for your opinion? We ask opinions for several reasons to make ourselves feel better when we're done something or we shouldn't have done, to justify our own actions before we do them, or to help ourselves make a good decision, take the better action, or gain perspective on past actions, which is good. I think it's great to get feedback. I think before you do something that you've never done before, go somewhere that you've never been before. Haven't you ever asked somebody about, I'm going to a trip, I'm taking a trip to Milwaukee. What's the best place to eat? That's opinion. Uh, but I think it is good to ask them and ask for people's opinions. Now, some people um, are a little over opinionated. You know, everybody hates I won't say hate, excuse me. Y'all know that's not a word I use. But a lot of people are not fond of the people who give unsolicited advice or unsolicited opinions, which I understand that. And I know I'm guilty of that. That's one of those dad things. I think that's what that is. Um, but it's not really a cool thing when you give unsolicited advice to people. And I know I'm guilty of it. And I got to stop doing it. But I'll ask them, I say, hey, man, can I tell you something? Or, hey, man, can I share something with you? But people are not really fond of that. But at the same time, I've had some people say, hey, man, that piece of advice you gave me? Yeah, I really wasn't paying attention to you when you told it to me, but I thought about it later on and it really made a lot of sense. I'm like, oh, what advice was that I gave you? Because I don't even remember what I said. But anyway, uh, people often ask you your advice or your opinion on something, and then they get mad when you tell them the truth, or you tell them what they don't want to hear, or you tell them how it really is. Why do y'all think that is? Why would somebody get mad because you tell them the truth? Because you share what you know or what you see or how you feel. And I've did some reading and some people just don't even want to know the truth. Ain't that amazing? Who doesn't want to know the truth? Who wouldn't want to know the truth? Then it makes no sense to me. So maybe y'all can help me figure it out. Put it in the chat for me. Um, there are some people that, if you ask them for advice, they'll tell you, figure it out. Figure it out for yourself. And some would say that's selfish. Some would say no, it's not. Because I won't be one of those that says it's selfish. Why? Because honestly, most of the time, most of the questions that we ask others, or that we ask others, we already have the answers. They're within us. We already know in our head. We already have an idea of what direction this is supposed to go. And if we just stop for a minute and just sit back and think about it, it usually will come to us. Now, I say I have this thing I call it the grenade factor. Some people will ask your opinion or get your feedback and ask you to help them to make a decision, so that therefore, when they're holding the grenade and you put your hand on it because you didn't give your opinion and somebody else will put their hand on it, then if that thing blows up, then the blame for it going bad spreads, so it's smaller, amongst everybody else. But if it's good, if the advice is good and they're successful, then guess what? They're the only one holding the grenade, and nobody, the only person gets the credit is them. I know it's kind of around the way, but that's how I see it. So let's see. I don't know. I don't know a lot more than I do now. Yeah, you do, James. Kyle says the best place to eat in Milwaukee is wherever Longhorn is paying for. Okay, good point. I think it depends on who you're asking. Now, there's a lot of truth to that too, Greg. Papa G. It does depend on who you're asking. But usually when we ask people, or say for instance, any of you, if somebody, you guys are over 30, 40 years of age, if somebody asks you your opinion, is because they believe that you have been there. And most of us have been there, did that, got the t-shirt in some way, form, or fashion. You don't ask a cop about being a priest. Correct me if I'm wrong. But most of us have had, but if somebody comes to us and asks us something about love, life, relationships, being, working a job, raising kids, we have information because we've done that. We've been there. So yeah, Greg, you're right on that. You know, let's see. James says, or don't want you to want they don't want you what you offer. And ain't that? I think, in my opinion, that's strange. You ask me my opinion, I give it to you, but you don't want what I'm giving you. Then why did you ask me for it in the first place? That makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you? But it happens all the time, you know. Lorinda says, hey, Lorinda, first time. Thank you for joining us. Says, truth means you are accountable for what you now know. Bam. Truth. That's real. That's real. So, hey, brother Jeff, Simplify Marine. Yes, we do let Marines onto the show. Yes, we do. Loretta also says, I'm gonna put it here on the screen. If folks don't accept or want to hear it, they feel they are exempt from when things hit the fan, but be it positive or negative. Now that's a lot of truth to that. Yeah, there is a lot of truth to that. They okay, but I didn't take your advice, so I'm good. You asked me for it. So I'm going on here. Um, Again, I really believe if somebody asks you your advice or opinion on something, they respect your viewpoint, on various life experiences. Although this may not always be the case, some just don't want to make a decision on their own. And that brings me back to this point. Why is it? What is it? Why is it so hard for people to accept who they are, what they are, and the decisions that they make? Why is it so hard for people to own own what it is that they did or said or will do or did? Yes. Like I said, I don't know it all, but I'll tell you what I know. I was one of those people that was forever doing this. I didn't get it done because this person, this, and that one finger was pointing, and I had three fingers pointing back at me. And once I started recognizing those three fingers, my whole attitude changed. Yeah. I think I've been hacked. Your dreams on 9. Okay. I don't know what that means, but all right. James says, as long as I don't need bail. Hey, Julie, good to see you. Ursula, good to see you. Jeff says we ask people advice, but we also forget that most people ask advice from we will be sitting in. I should have read that before I read that, Jeff. Um, Marines asking Marines for help, for advice, but still, I'm gonna ask you to do this. Be willing to share what you know. Yeah, well, if it's solicited, if it's solicited, share what you know, because the reality of it is this. Yes, there's a lot of people out there that need to know what you know, and it's hard, and it's getting harder for people to come to people and say, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Can I can I get some information from you? Can you share something with me? I need to know how you got through this situation." And it's true. It's getting harder for people to do this. Why? Because nobody likes to look like they failed. Nobody likes to look like they're uninformed. Nobody likes to look like they're stupid. And the best thing that you can do is to go, yeah, sure, sit down. Let's talk, or give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's work through this together. We stop. I mean, okay, I'm stuttering a little bit. Forgive me, but I just had a thought. Remember when your folks used to sit you down and have a talk with you, or if you had a question or needed an opinion, you could go to your people and talk to them. You could talk to your aunt, your uncle, your parent, or a family friend. We're losing a lot of that. Yeah, so these young people, a lot of our young people, are going to the internet for advice, going to TikTok for advice, instead of talking to or asking for opinions from other people. Why? Because they don't feel like they can come to you. There's grown people that are making dumbass decisions because they don't feel like they have anybody they can talk to. Hmm. So Jeff says, sorry if we have certain people. If we have certain people advice we already know, we should not be asking them advice. We should be sitting in advice. We would be sitting in jail if we take their advice. They can give advice, but they don't follow the advice that they give, if that makes sense. It does make sense because quite often people do give advice and they don't even follow their own advice. Like me, I tell people leave Apple computers alone. I mean, I don't tell them to leave them alone. I just tell them I don't own an Apple computer, but I go out and I buy one. Then I'm getting ready to take it back because I'm not an Apple computer guy. Um, Annette says, I ask advice from those have traveled a road I am traveling now. Yes, that's just it. That's what we should be doing anyway. That's where we should be getting that information from. People who have traveled that road. But you don't know if they've traveled that road if you don't sit down and talk to them and find out what they do know. Because honestly, one thing people love to talk about, them. Excuse me. They love to talk about them. Why? That's their favorite subject. They know everything about them. So Jeff says, sorry, talks to text is not like me. Yeah, mine don't either, so I feel you, bro. Smuggy, comedian Smuggy, what's up, bro? He said, what are we talking about tonight? The name of the topic, sir, is No, I don't know it all, but I can share what I do know. And Smuggy and you and I have had a conversation too. We're gonna leave that right there. So Miss Lorinda says, my Gen Z says the older generation doesn't really listen. So why should Gen Z go to them? My point exactly. Before I even hallelujah. That's all I'm gonna say. We must be on the same page. Yes, our kids don't think we're listening. They don't think they can talk to us. Why is that? Why is that? Is that because we're too busy doing this doing this instead of actually having conversations with them? These are and these are some of the people who I'm talking about that we need to be able to, that we got to let them know that we are available to have conversations with. And I'm not just saying, even though y'all know I'm big on the veteran thing, veteran situation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people in general, each other, your neighbor, your friend, relatives. We got to get back to a point to where, yeah, I'm willing to share what I know with you with no judgment. Well, I take that back. We all gonna judge. It may be behind your back, but we gonna judge. It just happens. I don't care who you are. It happens. Okay. Um. We James says we listen, just don't know how to relate. Wow. So how do we make it relatable? Tell me that. Can you tell me that in the chat? How do we make it relatable? It's not as hard as it seems. Making it relatable is just basically taking a situation from a time period. Let's just go back and take a situation from a time period. Let's just say the person that you're talking to is 40, and go back to your 40s and speak from a situation that happened to you during that period of time, because then you were in that mindset. It's not as hard as it may seem. It's really not. make things relatable. I make stuff relatable all the time. I'm a comedian. So if I tell a joke, it has to be able to relate to at least 60% of the people in the audience in order for me to make them laugh. So we can make almost anything relatable. Jeff says, so I have people advising me I should do stand-up comedy because of how funny I am. They will testify how great I am. Again, be careful who you take your advice from, Jeff. I'm just gonna say that part. I know you. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say right there. Then he said, Did I wake up and it was all a dream? The look you get when your friends look at you when you are smoking, that's about right, Jeff. So yeah, we're gonna leave it alone. So Lorenzo says, because we are looking at the world from our past perspective and not this technological environment we are now in. The world is truly different. No, the world is not that much different, ma'am. Here, the world is still the same. It's just that we have more distractions. We all still do the same things we've been doing for years. We get up, we eat, we sleep, we go to work, we take care of ourselves, we take care of each other. We just have a lot of damn distractions in our way now with all this technology. But last I checked, we're still having babies the same way. We're still making babies the same way. We're still dying the same way. Everybody's talking about COVID, but people have been dying from something forever. So if you take away if you just move it all away, move all this technology away. Right now, we're doing this right now on technology. I'm talking to y'all, and I'm sitting in my basement, wearing a shirt and no pants. Technology, but we're still doing what we're talking. Yes, one of the greatest forms of intercourse. Yeah, talk. But if we take away all the technology, we're still doing the same things. Nothing has changed except for the way that we do it. James, you're right. Talk to each other. Um, Thank you, Lorinda. She said, distractions. So Jeff says, okay, now serious. We asked, I will put it up on the screen this time, Jeff, since you're not being silly. Okay, now serious. We need to ask and take advice, but we also need different advice in order to figure out the best approach. This is true. We should take advice as just that, advice, but get different ideas. That is true too. I'm very big. We're all very big on this. And let me give you a prime example. We have all read a book. Let's just use the Bible. We've all read the Bible in some way, form, or fashion, and we learned a lot in Sunday school or whatever you learned whatever you learned something. But can you go back and quote that exact scripture? No, you can't. But then you'll get down the road 10, 15, 20 years, and then that scripture or that story or that parable will jump back to you like it was yesterday. So we can always listen, and we do listen. And we take bits and pieces out of everything that we hear, especially advice, especially good advice, and we store those little nuggets, and they come back out when it's time for them to come back, when it's time for them to grow, when it's time for us to use them. So, so we get those different ideas, and then we can formulate our own. We can take bits and pieces of what's been said to us and formulate what works for us. Um, How do we rid ourselves from all the distractions? Meditation. Um, it's right here. This phone right here. Here's an off button. Turn it off. Um, Assign yourself some quiet time. Assign yourself, just peace and quiet. Go for a walk in the park, and leave your phone in the car. How about that? Go on a vacation on the side of a mountain where there's no Wi-Fi or no phone signal. Do that. Or just clear your mind. Take time for yourself. Go sit in your backyard. You'd be surprised. Um, Some of my greatest ideas came from taking the advice I get from others and combing the advice. That's very true. Getting different perspectives. See, I'm loving this conversation tonight, y'all. Um, Getting a different perspective, see it from a different lens, a different perspective, seeing it through somebody else's phone. I mean, I'm sorry, that's seeing it through somebody else's eyes, hearing about it through somebody else's life. Because the truth of the matter is this: there is nothing new under the sun. You just call it something different. You know, bottled water is not new. It's really not. People have been carrying canteens forever. Stop and think about that. You know, there is nothing new about a box of Kleenex. They just call them handkerchiefs. There is nothing new about a pen. Nothing. They just called it a quill. And last but not least, there is nothing new about a phone. Because people have been sending messages to each other over distances for a very long time. Smoke signals, telegraph, Pony Express, messenger pigeon. We just got a different way of doing it. So, um, Barbara said, "Ooh, child, no phone." So there we go. Okay, I'll read this one. It says, Jeff says David and Goliath is a great example. Everyone sees and interprets David as a boy, when in fact he was in the military. They think he threw a rock, when in fact he was that time period snipers with a slingshot. Sniper was a slingshot. That's probably right. So I don't think I know everything, but I'm more than willing to share what I know, and I'm gonna ask you to do the same because our young people do need us. There are people sitting beside you that need you at home, at work. Um, I've been sitting places and people just sit down and start talking to me. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about my face that makes people think they can just walk up and start talking to me, but they do it. And you know what I do? I listen. I listen. And I talk less and listen more. Hey Linda, good to see you. Hope I know you're recovering from COVID. I hope you're doing well. But I talk less and I listen more. And then when it is my turn to speak, I try to make sure that I'm saying something that they can take with them, something that they can use, something that can help make their life a little better. I'm not Moses, and I'm no guru, and I don't know it all. I don't want to know it all. What I want to do is be able to help my fellow man or my fellow woman. Um, and then say you have kind face and heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. You didn't see me earlier today. Yeah, I hadn't shaved or cut my hair since last year. So yeah, I was looking about 70 by the head and face. But thank you for that compliment. But honestly, if we ask one question, well, we all have our moments of doubt, and a lot of us are believers, so we talk to God. But sometimes we need to talk to a person, and you'd be surprised how many people you can actually look in your phone and go and you call that number and say, "Can I talk to you for a minute? I need your advice. I don't need any money. I just need to talk to you and get some advice from you." You'd be surprised how many people go, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." Now, when do you want to do it? So you're not in this by yourself. You haven't been for a long time. There's a lot of people out there that love you. There are strangers that love you that you don't even know love you, that will be willing to talk to you, pray with you, sing with you, I mean, if you want to make snow angels in the backyard, in the parking lot of the church, they will do that with you. People are happy to share their life's experiences with you. And honestly, why reinvent the wheel when somebody's already been through what you've been through? Let them help you get through what you're going through. That's what I got. Message ran a little longer now. I guess I got a little long-winded. Thank you to Water, from Sam's, yeah, with alkaline. Anyway. Um I'm out of here. Anybody got anything else for me in the chat? Anybody else in the chat? Nothing? Well, for all of y'all that watch tonight, thank you. Hit like, hit love, let me know that you've been here. Greatly appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Um, you as well, man. I gotta tell y'all about Miss Rita. Miss Rita's something else. Miss Rita should be on stage somewhere. She really should. She's funny as hell. I love that lady out in Boston. Um, you have a joyous and blessed week also. Annette says, nurses look beyond a person's illness and appearance. Too many nurses need to be on receiving end in list. I agree. Um, so Annette, what you didn't know is I was a combat medic. Yeah. So I guess you could say I was a nurse I was a nurse with an M16 and a 45. Yeah, I can heal you, I can kill you. Don't make a difference. Thank you, Charlotte. So as I always say, y'all, as I close the show, man, I love you. Well, first of all, again, happy new year. Happy, prosperous. May you have a very prosperous and blessed new year. And everything that you want to come into your life comes into fruition. I pray that for you. I do. I will tell her that, Barbara. So God loves you. I love you. You know I do. God bless you. Take care of them kids. Love them kids. I'm sorry, but they got a little runny nose and their little badasses home until they feel better. Yeah, I love my Princess Izzy, but snotty nose, get your little ass out of here. Papa ain't doing that again. But love them kids. Take care of our vets. I'm Longhorn. Again, Happy New Year. God bless y'all.